I had like a plan for this video. I had the whole outline done. I was going over what I was going to say. Then I read those last 20 or so chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen, and it kind of melted my thought process. What on earth? What on earth? Oh my! I feel like this should be illegal. I feel like I shouldn't have read that. Anyway, starting over, Jujutsu Kaisen takes place in a world where cursed spirits pop up and they like to attack people, cause mischief. So you have the Jujutsu sorcerers, a group of chads who can harness their cursed energy to fight cursed spirits. If you have these abilities, you can see cursed spirits. You go to a Jujutsu sorcerer high school, you learn to be a Jujutsu sorcerer, you rank up, you participate in fun activities with your classmates, in My Cursed Academia. The story follows Yuji Itadori, a high school kid who gets caught up in this crazy world. When he runs into some Jujutsu sorcerers, he ends up eating a cursed object belonging to a crazy powerful cursed spirit named Sukuna. That being his finger. All his fingers were cut off, scattered all over the place. He eats one of the fingers. Sukuna possesses him. Itadori still has some level of control, so he still goes about his life with a evil demon living inside of him. And the Jujutsu sorcerers are like, hold on, we gotta kill this guy, don't we? And they're like, well, yes, but since he has some sort of control over this demon, how about we use him first? How about we teach this guy how to be a Jujutsu sorcerer? He's obviously very talented, and he can help us track down all of these other fingers and stuff, and help us take out some spirits in the meantime, and then we'll kill him. So he goes to Jujutsu High, and he trains to become a Jujutsu sorcerer. Oh my god. This series was not what I was expecting one bit. I mean, it kind of was at first, but So if you remember, I infamously dropped this series 2 chapters in when I first read it. I didn't really feel it. And I still don't really think the very first chapters of the series are all that interesting. I think the anime did a much better job with them. But now, finally going back to it, I realized that, just after that initial start that I didn't care for so much, it very, very quickly got my attention again. We get introduced to Itadori's classmates. You have Megumi and Nabara, and their sensei, Satoru Gojo. You meet some of their, senpais too. You got a panda, there's a sister school in Kyoto. They do the same thing. They're run by a Netero from Hunter x Hunter. So it's always cool seeing him again. Right off the bat, I thought it was a really smart decision to make these classes so small. I love My Hero Academia, but one of the problems I have with that series is that the class sizes are gigantic. You have a class A and B, and there's 20 kids each in them, but because you have so little time to focus on all these characters, you only end up caring about 7 of them. But this don't play around, okay? Very, very small, tight cast of characters, and they all get fleshed out just enough, with, of course, more room for character development down the road as well. I really, really enjoyed this main cast of characters. And the villains, man, oh boy. You have Mahito. Don't want to talk about them all, but Mahito... This series' power system is really, really interesting. The cursed energy stuff. The characters can, harness their cursed power or whatever and just do whatever they want, make up their own powers. Some, crazy shit goes on. Mahito's, in particular, his power is basically body horror. It's absolutely terrifying, but really, really cool. This guy is probably the reason I got so hooked on the series early on. Once you have an arc that focuses on him as well as another Jujutsu sorcerer, Nanami, who I also really love, that's when I realized, okay, this series is not playing around at all. It means business, and I'm really, really interested. Oh, and also don't forget, Itadori has a demon living inside of him. Sukuna is so great, man. Just because of how much suspense he adds to the series. You never know when this guy is going to show up, and when he does, you never know what he's going to do. This guy is crazy. He has no allegiances to anyone. Very, very unpredictable. It makes him very scary, and makes the series very exciting. So that's what you got. Characters going on missions, running into some baddies, dealing with your inner literal demons. We get a flashback. We flesh out some of the characters we already know. Cool stuff. Get about 80 chapters of that, and it's all great. Sure, it doesn't really reinvent the wheel for anything. This still follows, a standard shonen battle manga formula, but it does everything very well. But then they decide to go to Shibuya. They decide to have an incident in Shibuya, and So we've been in this arc now, the Shibuya incident, for over a year. It's still going. All of these arcs leading up to it were very short, very fast-paced, which is sort of the norm for modern Shonen Jump. Then they were just like, psych, here's the craziest shit you've probably ever read. Everything you thought this series was gets thrown out the window, and we are essentially subjected to non-stop, exhilarating action sequences, emotional character moments, and all around, some of the coolest shit ever. To say this arc blew me away is quite an understatement. While I enjoyed everything up to this point, nothing about it really stood out to me as, oh wow, this is like some of the best stuff I've read in Shonen Jump. It was just, a fine, fun battle manga series with some great characters. But boy, oh gee, is this on another level now. I think it's time we talk about the action in this series and why it should be illegal. This'll be a bold claim, but I think Jujutsu Kaisen has the best action currently in this magazine. I know, Chainsaw Man's the best. It is. But this man, what the fuck? The choreography here and the composition of the pages, the paneling. What? How is it this good? It shouldn't be this good. That's not okay. It makes everything look terrible in comparison. I just caught up to One Piece, okay? What the fuck is it? It looks so bad in comparison. I'm sorry, but it just does. The story in this series is good. It really is, don't get me wrong. But in my opinion, this art elevates it to such heights. And it's so impressive for a weekly series. I cannot get over it. What the hell is happening? It's so exhilarating and non-stop. You feel every punch. Give me that good shit. You're throwing cars, man. Exploding buildings. That cliche where someone gets knocked through a building and they fly through the office and just everything. It's all that shit. It's all here. The scope is massive and breathtaking. It was so good, man. I felt holy. And as non-stop and fast-paced as it is, it never feels rushed. It never feels too messy. It's like the perfect amount of thrilling action. It cuts away to give us character moments when it needs to. It surprises us all the time. Also, this series is extremely gory. It really shocked me at the level they went to. I know, Chainsaw Man, also very gory, but this one was... Bro, what the fuck? It really, really blew me away. And I feel bad for not giving this series another chance sooner. I was always going to, but wow. Now, there is one problem I do have with the series. It's kind of a nitpick, but I think the transitions between scenes is kind of really awkward and jarring sometimes. You know how, when a manga transitions to a new scene, showing a small panel of the location or a text box saying where they are now. But here, mid-page on the next panel, it could just completely change scenery with a bunch of different characters. And I always found this weird and confusing because it would take me a second to realize that we have shifted to a new place. Again, it's a nitpick. This is really the only bad thing I can really say about the series besides, a bit of a generic start. But yeah, man. Good shit. I cannot recommend this one enough to action manga fans. In fact, I would almost call it a necessity because this is absolutely one of the best action manga I have read out of Shonen Jump. And if it stays this good for the rest of it, I have no idea how long it's going to be. I have no idea where the story is going to go after this insane arc. But it could end up being one of the best action series I've ever read, period. I know I just read it. I know that's a bold claim to make. But honestly, it's fucking true. The anime has also been really good so far. Only I think 5 episodes are out. So, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's also a very good way to experience this. Whenever the Shibuya incident gets animated, man, and it's done well, I think, I don't want to say something will be the next Demon Slayer because Demon Slayer is scientists are still trying to figure out what happened there. But if there is any series that is currently ongoing that I think could reach the level of popularity, or even honestly even half the popularity of Demon Slayer, I think it could be this one. I'm so excited. Definitely check it out if you haven't. And let's do a quick spoiler discussion. If you're not caught up, get the fuck out of here. So Nobara and Nanami are dead. We'll put an asterisk on Nobara right there because we don't know exactly if she's dead. She might have survived that. I know it looks pretty fucking bad. Her eye is gone. But Nanami, who is one of my favorite characters, just gets turned into a puddle of blood. Mahito Man, What the fuck are you doing? Maki might also be dead, because he, poofed her and Nanami at the same time. We'll have to see. This series doesn't mess around, It'll kill off massive named characters and fuck you. We've seen stuff like this before, like in the earlier arcs where important characters would die, but here the stakes are just unbelievably high. And the whole fight, man, with Jogo, it's a weird name. It's like Gojo reversed. I don't know why they gave him that name. But the fight with him and Sukuna was so breathtaking, man. The scale of it was wild, and it ends with Sukuna like wiping out like several blocks of the city. When Itadori finally gains control again and he realizes the destruction that Sukuna caused, and he finally realizes why he should be executed, that whole scene was so fucking good. And now they're fighting off Mahito. That's where we are now, right after he may have killed Nobara. If she's not dead, it's gonna be one hell of a recovery. But yeah, man, good shit. So much fun. Absolutely can't wait to be reading this week to week. Very, very excited. So there you go. If you're all caught up, let me know your thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen in the comments below, and I'll see you all soon for the next video.